Chapter 67. When Warble returns home from the trouncing of his out-talked and out-tricked adversaries, Mary, who had seen it all on television, asks her husband how he can be so sure of victory as to absolutely guarantee it. "Mary, it's elementary," Warble explains. "No former polka punk star, let alone founder of the genre, has ever ran for president and lost. History is on my side. It is both mathematically and logically quite impossible for me to lose." Unfortunately for just about everyone, Warble is right. As in the gubernatorial election in Wisconsin, Warble wins by a landslide. Many of those, relatively few in number, who see through him and actually prefer one of the other candidates are so discouraged at his overwhelming popularity that they don't even bother to show up at the polling places. Warble ends up with an unprecedented 94.2% of the votes and is proclaimed winner before the results from the last 24 states are in. Warble wastes no time in getting down to business as soon as he takes office. His first official act is to track down and arrest all those who were after him in the past. Those after his inventions in Bayfield, Wisconsin, the entire police force in Westwego, Louisiana, all the officers and board members of the International Nut Company, the mentally retarded man in St. Augustine, Florida, who had been clapping along to the polka punk music, the beer mafia. Not wanting to waste the taxpayers' money on a lengthy investigation, Warble simply incarcerates all the Italians in the country. The unsatisfied biotrans customers. "The customer is always right," Warble had said about this, "unless he's dissatisfied." All who voted against him in the gubernatorial race, banishing them to Illinois, unless they voted for him in the presidential election and have photographic proof thereof, in which case they can avoid the involuntary displacement if they agree to forego the $50 they were to be paid for voting for him for president. And last but not least, all those who voted against him in the presidential race. To accommodate these aggressive moves, Warble orders 314,159 new prisons to be built and the immediate hiring of 31,415,926 new prison employees at an initial cost of $314,159,265. And so it goes for the next several months. Warble implements the plans he spoke of while on his whistle-stop tour. The new president performs his duties admirably, which mainly consists of making speeches, playing golf, and signing death warrants. The citizens, in turn, respond by doing what is expected of them: producing goods and services, consuming goods and services, paying taxes, and preparing themselves to be, if the country is lucky enough to get into a war, cannon fodder. Now that he has gotten all his adversaries, pursuers, and tormentors out of the way, Warble has a free hand to follow up on all the ideas and inventions he so meticulously and painstakingly preserved in his notebook. Warble comes to the conclusion, though, that now that he has gained his fame and fortune through other means, it seems rather pointless to pursue those ideas and inventions. After all, he reasons, I am the president, the commander-in-chief. Whatever the Dallas that means. How could a commander be in a chief? Is it like chicken in a biscuit? And he's a chief that is shaped like a commander, smells like a commander, or tastes commander-flavored, or what? If he's really Sitting Bull, but looks like Commander Cody, for instance, why did the U.S. government send Custer out to fight the Sioux chief? That would be treason, since Sitting Bull was the president in that case, or the president was Sitting Bull, or a sous chef, or to Dallas with it. It's getting way too complicated. At any rate, putzing around with novelties and schemes is no occupation for the leader of the cheap, if not exactly free, world. He's got more important things to do. Although realizing from an intellectual standpoint that is indeed the case, he's got more important things to do than tinker around with his inventions. For some reason, Warble doesn't quite feel satisfied with his circumstances. His life is pleasant and comfortable enough, and he has many servants constantly at his beck and call, but something is wrong. Something is missing in Warble's life. Something he once had, but has now somehow lost along the way.